Hello there. So, it's Sunday afternoon. It's time for a little talk, and I had something I wanted to share with you today. This is Stephen Barnes, creator of the Magic Formula, which you can pick up at www.realheroesjourney.com. Magic Formula is the best formulation of how to create luck in your life that I know of, how to organize yourself to move forward, to get started with minimum expenditure, and the minimum buy-in is the breathing. To take 60 seconds of deep, slow diaphragmatic breathing 5 times a day at the top of the hour. If you will start with this, then I can leverage this to teaching you other things. If you're not doing this, and I mean specifically this, what I'm saying isn't going to make much sense to you. So, that's the warning right there. If you deposit money in an interest-bearing account and leave it there, the power of compound interest will increase your capital. If the interest outpaces inflation, you have a surefire approach to wealth over time. If you constantly, daily, seek to improve yourself by 1%, you are looking to improve in ways that outpace time and age. If you do, you consistently improve your physical, emotional, and financial wealth over time. Just tiny improvement daily will, over time, produce magic. But the opposite is true as well. If you make just a tiny mistake daily and compound that over time, you will lose yourself and have no idea how you got lost. This is where the questions, who am I and what is true, are so damned important. You have to know how you know what you know. And if the answer is just someone told me or I feel it, you may be in trouble. While there is no way for the conscious mind or ego to know reality ultimately, the most honest thing I can do is start the next week, the next month, this new month, looking at the best means I know of. Note, it's impossible for me to discuss these things without including my personal perspective. I'll state that clearly now, so I don't have to bring it up endlessly. So, let's look at this. 1. Ground your basic beliefs in the most basic building, testable and observable blocks. Testable and observable building blocks of reality. For human beings, that's, things like Newtonian physics and biology. Action, reaction, pleasure, pain, and so forth relate to this. 2. Look for the answers that explain history and current events so that they make sense to you. 3. Look for answers that allow you to make predictions of human behavior. 4. The most basic answers should apply to physical, emotional, and mental arenas. Why do you believe X? Because I can use it to strengthen my body, strengthen my relationships, and build my finances is probably the best answer I know of. While you cannot be absolutely certain these things are important in some ultimate way, if I'm wrong, I still get health, love, money, and time to enjoy them. That ain't bad. 5. The most basic truths should align with your sense of the ethical structure of the universe. For a billionth of a second after the Big Bang, the universe has been about increasing interconnection and complexity. The same pattern applies to life itself, and human society, and human personal, individual evolution. 6. Look for benchmarks that are measurable, quantifiable, objective. If I'm trying to reduce fear, I can create subjective measures of how I feel. Or I can say if I was less afraid, I'd get out on the dance floor faster and spend more time there. I'd ask more girls on dates. I'd spar every night, or whatever. Then, while working on whatever techniques you've chosen to reduce fear, you have objective means of measuring the results. 7. Choose your mentors carefully. They should be over the horizon in some discipline you admire in getting the results you desire. You are seeking to follow their path. To do this, you'll need to both listen to what they say, observe what they do, and research what they did. People don't always know or teach their real secrets. If what they say and what they do and what they did do not all line up, be careful. 8. Choose multiple mentors. I'd say at least 3. What you're looking for is the critical path to their accomplishment, not the eccentric actions. If you seek to model, say, Stephen King, you might make the mistake of thinking his flaws cocaine, for instance, was responsible for his success. But if you look at a minimum of two other writers, look for what they have in common. If you don't choose carefully, you might choose three with substance abuse problems, and the unwise person will conclude, the drugs made them great, and follow that road to hell. But if you dig deeper, you'll ask why they used the various substances. The answer is always to access something they always had within them to begin with. The drug was a means to an end, not the end itself. And you get to ask, are there healthier ways to do this? Keep digging, keep researching, and you'll find those healthier ways. 9. Find an ethical pattern larger and older than yourself. The three gates are wonderful. A simplified version of the Eightfold Path. Very hard to hurt yourself if you're constantly concerned with honesty, kindness, and effectiveness. And how do you know if something is true and effective? When you can apply it to all three arenas: health, fitness, love, emotions, and mind, money. If you have a major wound in one of those arenas, until proven otherwise, assume that better behaviors would have provided better results. Take responsibility. Responsibility is the doorway to being an awake, aware adult human being. People who blame luck for success or failure risk being consumed by childish, magical thinking. Just a little pause here. Just going to check and see, because I'm streaming this to Facebook. I want to make sure that I don't have people over there who are asking questions. I kind of try to sneak on and off so I can use Facebook's record feature. Okay. 10. Conversely, you cannot take total responsibility, not in a Newtonian universe. There are things outside yourself. To walk this path, you have to both take responsibility and know that responsibility is not total. This is a place where people get confused. It is both true that people can be born into oppression, abuse, bigotry, and it will impact the average performance of members of that group. It is also true that individuals within that group can excel if they can see clearly enough and not allow themselves to be gaslit. This is rare. But the health of the group depends largely on how many individuals in it can awaken and claw their way out and leave a trail for others. If there is any positive aspect of this, it's epigenetic. Put it this way. Abused and oppressed people are running a tough mudder up a hill with refrigerators strapped to their backs. The other runners have no such load, but are either oblivious or sanguine about your unfair position. Worse, the very people who strap the refrigerator there will often lie their butts off, mocking you as you stagger up the hill. But here's the thing. Those few who survive, those who make it, they have strength the others cannot even grasp. They will, however, sense that there is something different about you, and it frightens them. They know they couldn't have done it. And what they fear most is that you will reach back and help others find the strength to climb that hill in spite of that load. Because if you can, the abusers just created their own worst nightmare. Now, there's a bonus here. There are two things you must do. One is to trigger your survival drive, which is connected to instinct. You look at reality from the animal perspective. No games, no ego, just raw survival. The other is that you must open your heart to both love yourself and to being the process of ego expansion so that you feel and know how others are connected to you, like individual mushrooms sprouting from the same mycelial cluster. You ask questions. Does it move you away from pain toward joy? Does it facilitate positive results in body, relationship, and career? Does it align with the three gates? Did you learn it from someone who could exemplify it and produce those results for others? These are the things I learned from my teachers. Teachers who themselves were world class at their disciplines. I simply emptied my cup and said, "Teach me, Sifu," and they did. Why? Because they were masters, and real masters are always learning, always doing, and always teaching. They recognized another seeker, that's all. And as others had given to them, they gave to me. And now I give to you. If you enjoy this, join my mailing list at www.stephenbarneslist.com. Join us on Fridays when we do the fire dance meeting free on Zoom. And I wish you a very happy week.